Namaste. Hello, welcome everyone to my channel. My name is Angeline, and we will be doing a yin yoga practice for grounding and centering. It's going to be what I consider a full moon practice when the energy of the moon is kind of affecting everything. I feel like there's some meridians that need more attention. Liver, gallbladder, those are related to like anger. So sometimes when there's a full moon, our feelings tend to get overly amplified, and so anger is one that's typical. Neurotic behavior, pensiveness, which is going to be another meridian we're going to focus on, which is our stomach, and that's the tendency to overthink or worry. And then we want to focus on kidney meridian as well, which focuses on fear. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to come into our meditation, and we'll just do a couple minutes here. This is where we want to tune out the world and put all of our focus and attention into who we are, into what space we fill in our body, the essence of our being. So let's take a deep inhale through our nose. As you breathe in through your nose, you want to fill up your belly, your chest, lifting the collarbones. And then exhale everything out. You can do this through the mouth or through the nose. You're going to start with releasing the collarbones, and the chest deflates and the belly deflates. And now we're going to breathe in through our nose. So as you breathe in through your nose, you're going to fill the belly, fill the chest, lift the collarbones. As you exhale, and at first you may need to do that through the mouth a couple of times, but eventually you want to get to where the breath feels smooth and you breathe in and out through your nose. When you exhale, you're going to feel the collarbones drop first, then the chest empties, and then the belly. Our mantra for today's practice is I am grounded and centered, or you can say I feel grounded and centered. And allow yourself to have that experience of what that feels like, to feel grounded and centered. Nothing can knock you off of your equilibrium. So we're going to open our eyes. We're going to come into our first pose, which is going to be a toe squat. So go ahead and do this to the side here. What you want to do, what I like to do, is I start on my hands and knees. I tuck the toes, and go ahead and tuck them on your right foot first. Slide that right foot back to where your knee lines up with the left knee. And now bring your left knee forward, tucking the toes, and then slide them where they meet back with that right knee. Here you have a few options. You can take your blocks, if you have them nearby, and you can set them up to where you can sit back onto them so you're not really pressing too much on your feet. Or you can just sit back onto your heels. Again, you want the toes to point forward as much as possible. You may have to reach back and bring the pinky toes forward. If this is too much for your toes and the bottom of your feet, lean forward and just let there be a stretch to where you just start to feel that sensation. You don't want it to feel painful, and you don't want to feel it shooting through your body any discomfort or any kind of signals, like nerve signals or anything. But you definitely want to feel that fascia on the bottom of your feet. You want to feel it lengthening. Remembering to engage in that breath. That's our anchor in our poses. This asana is great for opening all the lower body meridians, which are considered yin meridians. Two minutes will feel like 500 years. And toe stretch. Definitely feeling this. And again, in yin, you can make any modifications you need to, like coming up out of it a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and bring our hands forward, lean onto our hands, and fold your toes, flatten them out, and you can tap them on the top of your mat. You can wiggle your feet, you can do little circles, ankle circles here. And now we're going to sit back onto an ankle stretch. So here you can take your blanket underneath your feet. You can bring your blocks back to rest your hands on. It's going to be 2 minutes. So when you come back, you want to have your spine somewhat elongated and then reach back. And you just want to feel a stretch on the front of the thighs, maybe a little bit in the stomach. This again is affecting our stomach meridian. Possibly a little bit of the spleen. If you don't need your blocks and if you want to come onto the hands, let's get a little bit deeper stretch. Go ahead and do that. Try not to bend the elbows, keep them straight. Again, remembering that 3-part breath, breathing in through your nose and exhaling out through the mouth. We're just about there. Don't forget to focus on your breath, feeling the sensations through your body. We're going to gently lift ourselves up. You can bring your blocks back to the front of your mat if you want. You're going to do the same thing. Just tap those toes on the mat, the tops of your feet. Letting that energy shift through those meridians. Maybe roll your feet left to right. And then we're going to come into a supported bridge. So here you want to have a block, and when we use this block for supported bridge, you can hold it like this or like this. You can, I don't know if I did this one, but you can have it flat like this as well. So we're going to be here for 3 minutes. Bend your knees, bring your feet close to your glutes. You're going to point the toes forward. Don't let your knees fall in too close to each other, or don't let them fall out. You want to have them pointing straight up to the ceiling. You're going to push through your heels, lifting the pelvic region up towards the ceiling. Slide your block. You may need to come up on your tippy toes. And then just bring that block right under the sacrum. I got a couple nice little Charlie horses there. It's always good times. And so you want the top of the block to be right underneath the low back and right at the top ledge of the sacrum, which is that triangle bone at the end of your spine. Have your palms facing down. Here you just want to extend either one leg at a time or both legs. We're going to probably have about 2.5 minutes here. Again, you want the toes to point towards the wall in front of you. The knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to engage in that 3-part breath again. I like to give myself a little abdominal massage on the supported bridge. Just about there. You want the ankles in line with the hips. We're going to slowly bend one knee at a time. We're going to press through the hips, moving that block out to the side. Let's just go ahead and drop our knees toward one another and walk those feet a little wider, about the width of the mat. Just going to take a few breaths here. Again, remembering that mantra, I feel grounded and centered. So again, this practice is about connecting to stability while we're being influenced or affected by these higher vibrational energies. We're going to press ourselves up into a seated position. We're going to come into butterfly. So I like to have a blanket just to help give my pelvis a little tilt. We're going to do butterfly for 2 minutes. So we're going to inhale and lift up, and then exhale. You want to walk the hands in front of the shins out past the feet. Bring those elbows in front of your shins. Your hands to the floor or to your feet. Here you can round your back if you want. Tuck that chin towards your chest. I'm just going to be here for 2 minutes. want to come down a little bit closer to the floor, go ahead and allow yourself to do that as your body opens. But remember, in the end, we're just going to where we start to feel sensation. We're not trying to go to our full max because we hold the pose for a little bit longer. It's a perfect practice for also practicing awareness. Awareness is having a prolonged involvement with a situation. I don't want to use the word concentration because it's not that you're concentrating as far as like thinking about something, which is forcing it into your awareness. You're just allowing yourself to be receptive to how you, in this practice, how you feel in your body, and just being with that, and just go through any feelings that come with that sensation. We are going to come into a deer pose, and we want to do 2 minutes on each side. So we're going to have our feet in the butterfly. We're going to lean over to the left. Take your right foot. You can lift your blanket out of the way. You want the blanket under both sitting bones, but you want your hips to be as leveled as they can. That right knee is going to come straight out from the hip socket. If it can't go straight out, it can be a variation of a 45-degree angle. You're going to press yourself, the torso, back to the middle so you feel more centered. And this pose, deer pose, is a very grounding and I believe centering pose. And I like to close my eyes to really feel the energy undulating and moving through the meridians, through sinews, just going where it needs to go. And again, not trying to focus my attention to where I'm directing or I'm forcing an interpretation or forcing movement in what I feel like I want, but be more open and receptive to the experience and what is actually happening and what I'm feeling in my body. Again, creating an environment where we practice a vibration, a way of thinking, a way of feeling, and not being too upset if not immediately we're seeing results of that. We're going to come out of this pose. So we're going to lean over to the left, unwrap that right foot. Let's meet back with the left foot. Keep those knees out to the side. We'll just flap our butterfly wings here. And then we're going to set up for the second side. So you want to lean over to the right, bring that left foot back. You may or may not notice my left side, I cannot get back nearly as far as the right. We're asymmetrical beings, so you may have that situation. This may be your looser side. So again, you want to be as centered as you can. Through the torso, you're pressing yourself up. You can be on your cupcake fingers with that right hand. The left hand is in front of the pelvic bone. And we're just going to focus our breath here to open into this pose. Again, closing our eyes and allowing ourselves to be in our body and feel the sensations that we are experiencing. Just about there. Remembering that 3-part breath, breathing in through your nose, filling up your belly, filling up the chest, lifting those collarbones. And then exhaling everything out. We're going to lean over to the right, bring that left foot, meet it to the right. And we're just going to flap our butterfly wings here. And we're going to come into a swan pose. So with swan, we are going to lay on our stomachs. Our feet are about as wide as the mat. You want your elbows right under your shoulders. We're going to be here 3 minutes. You can bring the hands together, pressing the pinkies into your mat. If you bring your elbows forward towards the front ledge of your mat, it'll take that bend out of your low back, so it won't be too deep of a back bend if you're feeling a lot of pinching or any pain in that area. Again, remembering to engage in that breath. You want the hips, the glutes, the hamstrings, you want all those muscles to be relaxed. In our yin practice, we're focusing on our connective tissue, so we're not really trying to exercise or condition the muscles so much. We want to stress and condition the ligaments, tendons, and fascia. Lift the top of your head up towards the ceiling. You can pull through your chest a little bit forward. If you feel like you want to go a little deeper with the last few moments we have in this pose, bring the hands out in front of your elbows, and you want to point the thumbs forward, and we're going to press up into a straight arm. You have those front of your elbows pointing up towards the ceiling a bit. Again, remember to relax the lower body. Keep the shoulders out of your ear, lifting that head up towards the ceiling. We're going to slowly bend our elbows, bringing them out. Take the hands and stack them. Lay your forehead on the back of your hands, and we're just going to rock our hips out here and hope to release that low back. And now we're going to come up and set up into a swan. So you want to be on your hands and knees. The knees are right underneath your hips. The hands are underneath the shoulders. We are going to take the right knee and bring it as close to that right wrist as you can. Walk the right foot towards the left hand. Now here you don't have to have that shin, the right shin, in a 90-degree angle. You can have it about 45 or even a little less. We're going to slide that left leg back. So you want to have the hips squared and they're kind of falling towards your mat. We're just going to be here 2 minutes. Just take a few breaths. Walk your hands out a bit, keeping that spine straight, coming down to your forearms. We're going to walk over to, we're going to walk over to the left, keeping those forearms down on the floor. You want like a little arch to that side body. We're just going to be here for about a minute or so. Again, any sensations you feel in your body, as long as they're not painful or you don't feel any numbness or tingling, just allow your body to experience that without interpreting it in a negative or positive way, but just being in your body as you feel the sensations. We're going to walk back to the front. We're going to press up through our hands again. You can come up on those cupcake fingers and take a couple breaths here. And now let's go ahead and tuck the toes on that left foot. We're going to bring the right foot back towards the left and come into our downward facing dog. Here you can walk the dog out, bending one knee as you press through the heel on the opposite leg. Get a nice deep stretch in those calves. You want those hips going up towards the ceiling. Now let's go ahead and press our heels down towards the floor. And we're going to come back into our table pose. And we want to bring that left knee to the left wrist. Walk that left ankle towards the right. But again, you don't have to meet all the way to that right wrist. We're just going to let the hips square and sink down towards the floor. Take a couple breaths. Again, lifting the head towards the ceiling. We're going to walk out, keeping that spine as straight as you can onto your forearms. And then we're going to walk, arching that upper body towards your right. And again, you're going to stay on those forearms. Staying engaged with your breathing. A 3-part breath. Again, you might feel your body pulling back or fighting, and instead of resisting that shifting, just kind of sit with it again. Come out of your pose a little bit to where you're meeting that sensation and that restriction. And just have the awareness as you're breathing in and out, that you're breathing in, creating space in your body, and as you breathe out, you're releasing that tension and that restriction. And allow yourself that tension to be released. Feel that restriction dissipating. And if you want to meet or come back to that mantra, I feel grounded and centered. We're going to walk back towards the center. Come up on those cupcake fingers. Take a few breaths here. We're going to come back onto our hands. You're going to bring your feet together. Hands are going to go forward, and we're going to tuck the toes and press into our downward dog. And again, you're going to switch which leg is bent, which one's pressing into the heel. As you breathe in and out through the nose, and feeling the energy move through your body. Go ahead and press through both heels. And then we're going to come down onto on our backs. We're going to go into a twisted roots. So for twisted roots, you want your arms out into a T, bend those knees. We're going to take our left leg over the right, bring the right foot towards your glute, over towards the left side of your mat, and press those hips to the left. Again, walk that right leg to the left edge of your mat. And now we're just going to drop our knees to the right, lift our head, and look over the left shoulder. Again, engaging with that breath. 3-part breathing into the belly, filling up the chest, lifting the collarbones, and then releasing everything out. Just about there. Your next inhale, we want to bring the head back to center. Engage in your core, lifting the knees up and back through the middle of the mat. We're going to drop those knees together, feet are wide, and we're just going to take a couple breaths here. We're going to set up for the second side. So you're going to take the right leg over the left. You want to walk that left foot towards the right side of your mat. Press through the foot, shifting the hips to the right. Then we're going to drop the knees towards the left. Lift your head and look over that right shoulder. Palms can be facing up. Just going to be here 2 minutes. And then there's one more pose. And then we will be going into our Shavasana. Our breath helps us engage the parasympathetic nervous system. That's where we relax. It's where all of our healing occurs. All of our healing systems can operate optimally when we're in that state, when we have the parasympathetic nervous system engaged. For those of us who feel like they always have to be on, they always have to go, 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 relaxing or letting go may be a very, very uncomfortable and foreign concept for you. I would urge you to keep practicing with it, but again, we're not forcing anything. You don't need to hurry anything. Just if it takes you 20 seconds to only be able to relax for 20 seconds, that's okay. You just keep practicing until it's a minute, and then an hour, and then a couple, just to be able to have that overall sense of feeling relaxed and at ease. And when we feel grounded and centered into who we are and what we're about and our place in the world, that comes a lot easier. So we're going to turn our head back to the center, engage your core, lifting those knees back into the middle. And we're going to drop the knees together, feet are wide. Just going to take a few breaths here. Feel that sensation of the energy moving through your meridians. You may experience it as a cold water flowing through your meridians sensation, or it may feel like hot water. We're going to bend our knees and hug them into our chest just for a couple breaths here. You can rock side to side, giving yourself a little lower back massage. Really feel those hips kind of loosening up as you roll back and forth. The muscles, the fascia, there's a big sheet of fascia in that low back region. Just kind of massaging it gently. Again, bringing some awareness there, just seeing if you feel any tension or tenderness. Breathing through it as you roll across that tissue. And then we're just going to come back to center, bringing your feet into your hands. Your hands are going to be on the outside of your feet. Your knees are bent towards the floor. And we're just going to use the weight of the arms to bring the knees down closer to the floor as we can while we're relaxing everything in our body. We're going to go ahead and release those feet. Bring our feet out to the corner of the mat. Let's tuck the shoulder blade towards one another and down the mat. Hands are down by your hips, about 4 to 6 inches away from your hips. You need to lift your head up to look at your feet, and then lower your head down to elongate your cervical region of your body. Go ahead and do that. Basically the neck. And we're just going to rest into our Shavasana, feeling the support of the floor and of the earth, supplying us with everything we need, stability, the ability to feel stable and grounded and centered. Tick-tock, the essential meaning, timelessness, divine timing, immeasurable time. The Oracle's message: when humans created time, everything changed and contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order, were happening now, in a glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire. So release your agenda, let go of your need to shape each moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them, right on time. The relationship message: love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season, its divine and appropriate timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Remember that you always have enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, to give, and to receive it. Its clock is eternal and ticks according to the beating of your heart in perfect rhythm. Isn't that wonderful to know? Love is always right on time. The prosperity message: your prosperity is co-created by your endeavors as they occur in human-made time and the eternal efforts of your most important manifestations partner, spirit, in a divine, measureless time. So keep doing what you're doing, stay positive, and make the commitment to remain in high vibration thoughts and feelings. If you heed the message of this card, it will seem as if you will align with your highest calling and your highest good in no time at all, like magic. So what's all the fuss about not having enough time? The prosperous life that is yours will never pass you by. I picked a card from the Wisdom Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. So I really like these cards, and if you feel drawn to them, those are the ones we're using. And you can find them at bookstores sometimes. Any New Age kind of metaphysical shop would have them. We're going to kind of bring ourselves back into our awareness of our body, wiggling our fingers and our toes. You want to have a nice deep stretch, so bring your arms up overhead, your feet together and long. Take that inhale as you elongate through the whole length of your body. And then exhale, rolling over to whichever side feels the most comfortable for you. I'm just going to take a couple of breaths here. And by your second exhale, go ahead and push yourself back up into a seated position. We'll meet with our hands in front of our heart in Angeline Mudra. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Exhale everything out. One more time, repeating our mantra. I feel grounded and centered. One more nice deep inhale. And exhale everything out. Peace and namaste. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed your practice. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, or at least leave me a like or comment if you feel so moved to. And I will see you next time. Namaste. Thank you.